Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the life of one of the most iconic characters in animated television, Stan Smith from American Dad. Created by Seth MacFarlane, Stan is the proud, conservative, and often over-the-top CIA agent whose worldview doesn't exactly line up with the chaos around him. Whether you love him or love to hate him, Stan Smith is definitely a character with layers. In this video, we're going to explore 15 fascinating facts about Stan that will give you a deeper understanding of who he is, why he's so interesting, and how his character has evolved. Let's get started. 1. Stan Smith is the patriarch of the Smith family. Stan is the head of the Smith family in American Dad. He's married to Francine, and together they have 2 children, Haley and Steve. He's also the guardian of Roger, the alien who lives with the family. Despite his serious job and tough demeanor, Stan's relationship with his family is at the heart of the show, though his overbearing nature often leads to hilarious situations. 2. He works for the CIA. Stan Smith's job as a CIA agent is central to his character. He's portrayed as a patriot and someone who believes deeply in national security. His role often places him in absurd, over-the-top situations where he tries to protect his country, sometimes going a little too far in the process. His role as a CIA agent is used to explore themes of government, patriotism, and even his own misguided beliefs. 3. His personality is over-the-top and outrageous. Stan is known for his larger-than-life personality. He's ultra-patriotic, often excessively so, and he holds rigid conservative views. His extreme reactions to seemingly ordinary situations are a key aspect of his humor. Stan's over-the-top nature is what often leads to his being put in ridiculous scenarios, but it's also what makes him an endearing, albeit flawed, character. 4. Stan's backstory involves a tough childhood. Stan's childhood is marked by difficulty and instability. He grew up with an emotionally distant father and a mother who left when he was young. His childhood experiences influenced his tough, no-nonsense demeanor as an adult. He often reflects on his rough upbringing, which serves as a backdrop for his need for control and discipline in his own family. 5. His relationship with his family is complicated. Stan's relationship with his family is one of constant conflict. He often finds himself at odds with his liberal daughter Haley, who is the complete opposite of him politically and ideologically. His son Steve, while often the target of Stan's tough love, is more willing to follow his father's guidance. Meanwhile, his wife, Francine, often balances his extreme behavior with humor and patience. 6. Stan is extremely patriotic, sometimes to a fault. Stan's patriotism is one of his defining traits. He deeply believes in American values, often going to absurd lengths to defend them. His blind allegiance to the country, however, sometimes leads to ridiculous or misguided decisions. His America First mentality is often a comedic exaggeration of national pride, reflecting the show's satirical take on American culture. 7. Stan is a man of contradictions. Despite his staunch conservative views and overbearing personality, Stan has many contradictions. For example, he claims to be the protector of traditional values, yet he often engages in ridiculous or out-of-character behavior that goes against the very principles he tries to uphold. These contradictions make him a multi-dimensional character that adds depth to the show. 8. He has a complex relationship with Roger, the alien. Stan's dynamic with Roger, the alien, is one of the most entertaining aspects of the show. While Stan initially wants to kick Roger out, he eventually accepts him into the family, even though Roger's outrageous behavior often causes problems. Their relationship is a perfect example of Stan's inability to fully control his life and his family, even as he tries to enforce strict rules. 9. Stan's humor often comes from his inability to adapt. Stan's humor often stems from his inability to adapt to modern times or adjust to situations that challenge his worldview. He refuses to acknowledge his flaws or learn from his mistakes, which creates comedic tension in many episodes. His inability to change is often both his strength and his downfall, and it creates many of the show's funniest moments. 10. He was a former high school athlete. Stan was a high school football star, which adds to his macho persona. His athletic background is part of his character's image as a tough, strong individual. In several episodes, his past as a star athlete is referenced, and he often relives his glory days, showing a more vulnerable side of himself, especially when trying to live up to his own standards. 11. His relationship with Francine is hilariously dysfunctional. Stan and Francine's marriage is full of humor, with a mix of love, frustration, and occasional absurdity. Stan's over-the-top nature often leads to awkward or hilarious moments, while Francine's more grounded and free-spirited personality balances him out. Their dynamic is a perfect example of a dysfunctional yet loving relationship. 12. He has a complicated friendship with his colleagues. Stan's work relationships are often awkward and strained, especially with his CIA colleagues, such as his boss Avery Bullock. Bullock is the complete opposite of Stan, a morally dubious, eccentric character who regularly puts Stan in uncomfortable situations. Their dysfunctional work relationship creates many comedic scenarios and adds depth to Stan's professional life. 13. Stan struggles with emotional vulnerability. Despite his tough exterior, Stan has moments of emotional vulnerability, particularly when it comes to his family. He struggles to express his feelings and often resorts to action rather than conversation. This emotional repression adds complexity to his character, as he tries to protect those he loves but often makes things worse in the process. 14. His fashion sense is iconic. Stan's wardrobe is a perfect reflection of his personality. He's almost always seen wearing a dark blue suit with a red tie, which is both formal and patriotic. His fashion choice makes him instantly recognizable and is a consistent visual element that ties into his character's rigid, no-nonsense attitude. 15. Stan's character has evolved over time. Throughout the series, Stan's character has undergone significant development. Early on, he was depicted as a rigid, unyielding character with little growth. However, as the show progresses, we see him open up more, especially in his relationships with his family. His character is now more nuanced, with moments of self-reflection and growth, making him more relatable to viewers. Conclusion. And there you have it, 15 captivating facts about Stan Smith from American Dad. From his over-the-top patriotism to his hilarious yet complicated relationships with his family and friends, Stan is a character full of contradictions and comedic moments. His evolution over the years has made him one of the most memorable characters in animated television. Whether you love him or find his antics a bit too much, there's no denying that Stan Smith is an integral part of American Dad and a character who has brought plenty of laughter to audiences around the world. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Stan Smith's character, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. What's your favorite Stan moment? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.